Hello lovely lot. I've been living with this 2026 BYD Dolphin Surf Boost as a second car to my Tesla Model Y for a couple of weeks now, in not so fortunate, proper sub-zero UK temperatures. My initial impressions has certainly been eye-opening. One thing that I do want to be straight with you is this review video is probably going to be unlike some of the other YouTube videos that you've probably seen on this very vehicle. Now, this isn't a press car and I've not been sponsored to discuss this in any manner. So this is a proper first impression video from a real owner. I've used my own money to start this ownership journey, and so I can tell you exactly what I think, including the good and the bad. And spoiler alert, there is quite a lot more good than I expected. But equally, I think I found the room for improvements too. But in a nutshell, if you're after a cheeky second EV for shorter runs to taxi the family, something affordable, fun and practical without breaking the bank, for the overall package this car offers for the price that I pay a month, and I'll reveal that shortly, I think you will agree with my thesis. I'll cover the exterior that's really grown on me, the interior build quality that's punching way above its price, the driving feel and efficiency even in this cold snap, the tech bits including the software, and overall why I'm just chuffed a bit so far. We've got plenty to get through for a solid 10 to 12 minute video, so grab a brew, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the hype button if you do have that, as it really does help me out. Thank you lovely lot for doing so. Let's get into it. So first off, the looks. Now, these will be subjective. Everyone has the right to their own opinion, but when I first saw the photos of the BYD Dolphin Surf, I thought that it did look pretty average in all fairness. But in the metal, especially in the black colour that I went for, the eyes just do the design far more justice. It's got that compact hatchback stance with a bit of attitude, especially that rear spoiler and the light bar. Even on the side, you've got a floating roof and there is plastic trims all around the wheel arches, similar to what you typically find on an SUV and not so much on a mini hatch. And I really like that smaller detail. It just gives it a bit more of a rugged, go anywhere feel without being over the top, and primarily it protects the paintwork. Overall, the lines are clean and modern. The front end with those slim LED lights, they look sharp. And from the side, I think it's properly proportioned. Parking it up, especially in tighter spots, I do catch myself doing that classic look back as I walk away. So I think that's just generally a good gut feeling that I've made the right decision on the design at least. And it's even got electronic folding door mirrors on the Boost trim, which is super handy for when you parallel parked it on a busy side street. Overall, exterior wise, it's not trying to be a premium stunner like some of the rivals, but for the money, it looks smart, it's solid, and frankly, it's pretty distinctive. The standard lime green colour, not so much in my eyes, but it's really a Marmite-like decision. I much preferred the less controversial black metallic paint, which is why I brought it. Stepping inside, and tech is not scrapped on at all, and that's going to be discussed later in the video, but this is where the Dolphin Surf actually really surprised me. The build quality in here is outstanding, especially the interior. For just under £180, I expected some corners to be cut, but the build quality, no squeaks, no rattles, no creaky plastics. Even over bumpy frosted heaved roads, it really is quite something. I read somewhere that of the whole car, BYD has built everything apart from two items, that is the tyres and the wiper blades, and he didn't even compromise on the tyres. Proper Hankook tyres. That very vertical integration perspective is probably why the fit and finish feels really tightly screwed together. And you may be saying, well Adam, where's all these cost savings coming from then Adam? And I'm going to get to that. The areas you touch most being the steering wheel, the gear selectors, the door handles, even the armrests, especially the seats, they feel properly premium. Soft touch materials where it counts. Vegan leather, that's nice and grippy. No hard scratchy bits scraping your elbows. Though I do find that just resting myself here on this door frame, there is hard plastic there because I just find that more comfortable when I am in my resting driving position. Now, the harder plastics do come into play where you look at the lower panels of the car, door pockets, areas where you don't touch frequently. That is where the obvious cost-saving decisions have been delivered to help keep the overall price sensible. But I think it's done smartly. Could the cup holders and the door bins have been, could they have used softer materials? Absolutely, but that would have made the overall vehicle cost more. And I think it actually can be fixed for people that do find that's going to bother them by just buying a rubber accessory insert. But it's really not a deal breaker. And speaking of seats, they are actually really comfy, supportive without being too firm, great for nipping around town or even just longer stints really. Sadly, there is no adjustable lumbar support, but you do get electrical adjustments. But honestly, the base comfort is really good. In the rear, it may only offer 2 seats, but you do get plenty of legroom. In my seating position, I'm not pressed at all in the back. 2 adults would have no problems in the back here. If your main driver is an SUV, visibility is usually a big factor in your driving experience, and with this BYD Dolphin Surf, it is another win. You still have that high ground clearance, big windows, thin pillars, a higher seating position. It gives you all-round brilliant views. Makes city driving and parking pretty much a breeze. And I'll talk about the driving experience in the tech in just a moment, but the Boost trim comes with a rear camera and sensors. The camera quality is okay, not brilliant, but not the worst I've seen. Storage wise, you have decent sized door bins, you've got cup holders, under armrests, cubby, though it's not a full center console experience, and even the boot is practical for this segment. It gets around 316 litres, and you have underfloor storage for your cables, etc. And the seats, they fold down for even more room too, but it does have that step when you do fold it. So there's room for improvement, and that could also be for the front where there isn't one, then that could be improved for future models. But as a second family car, it's pretty much spot on as it is. When you're on the road, the BYD Dolphin Surf is also a joy for what it is. I had concerns though before I test drove it, but the test drive really did just win me over. The main concern that I had was to do with the acceleration, as 0 to 60 in 11 seconds isn't record setting. So you can understand why I wanted to test drive the thing, but it doesn't feel as bad as the stat suggests, as 0 to 30 is still really nippy, and there on to 60 is where that power does fade more. And that was the compromise that I was happy to accept, having test drove it to get to the maximum 200-mile range model. And it still feels punchy enough when driving. The handling feels really planted, and the steering feedback is light, but it's also direct. The suspension soaks up most bumps as well. The ride is pretty comfy, not too sporty, but that's perfect for just this daily use. In terms of efficiency and range, to be honest, I can't give you a truly conclusive opinion of what it can ultimately achieve, as I've only been driving in sub-zero temperatures, but I can tell you what the worst of it has been. Keeping in mind that I've been preheating the car to melt this frost and then doing a 3 to 5 mile journey so far, driving it in normal driving mode and not holding back on the heater because, I don't want to freeze to achieve a headline efficiency figure. In those conditions, starting with a cold battery, warming the car up, stop-start traffic, I'm getting around 3 to 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. Now, I know that's not amazing, but it's realistic in winter temperatures without any hypermilling. I think if I did the same driving prep, but just drove the car that little bit further ahead in city driving speeds, I suspect it will actually nudge up to maybe 3.5 or 3.7-ish more, especially as I've only done a limited mileage under my belt. The reason for this lowish figure here is most of the juice is spent warming up the car and then just not doing the distance to actually stretch out that driving efficiency once it does warm up. But in the summer, when it has warmed up, this car should easily clear 4 to 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour easy, and maybe heading into and past 5 miles a kilowatt hour. So we should really be cooking from that point onwards, but I can only say for sure until I've actually done it. But rest assured, freezing temperatures in a 3 to 5 mile drive, 3 to 3.3 kilowatt hours or 300 to 333 watt hours per mile is what I've achieved in the worst of UK temperatures. And frankly, I'm okay with that. On the tech side, this is more familiar to me as a Tesla driver, and partly why I was actually leaning to this vehicle over its rivals in the first place. That and the affordability, which I mentioned earlier. This comes with a 10.1 inch screen. It's bright, responsive, combined with a head-up display. The main screen can also rotate, but for most people, that's simply going to be a gimmick. You can set it landscape, and you probably will do from the start, and you will never change it thereafter. We've also got wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay that hooks up seamlessly. It's got built-in Google Nav that's actually pretty good on the visual side. The voice controls with Whiting or Hey BYD works pretty decently for basic features. It also has ADAS kit like adaptive cruise control and lane assist as standard, even pin to drive. And coming from a Tesla, this is a small but a golden barrier to stop your car from being stolen. It's a simple, great preventative feature. Overall, the software, whilst it's not quite Tesla level, it's a good solid base. Intuitive menus, it's quick to learn. But yeah, there's room for improvement there. Some interfaces do feel a little bit tag clunky, but it isn't slow and it's quick and it's not buggy at all, which is pretty essential when it comes to software driven cars. The heating is controlled in levels and not via a temperature gauge, which you do adjust to, but in future models, this will be a small but worthy upgrade. The biggest beauty here, though, it has to be that it supports over-the-air updates. So BYD can, and it does refine its models over time without having to visit the dealer. Just like a Tesla, I've already actually seen mentions of a 2.0 software update rolling out, so fingers crossed that we do get more software updates in the months and years to come. I'd love to see a dash cam camera using the ADAS camera at the front here and the rear reversing camera in the future. In fact, a more important update that they do need to do and actually do need to address is that via the BYD phone app, which is also pretty good and stable, by the way, we do need a proper window de-icing button on the app. At the moment, it does just the cabin and the battery, but I can't see why a small button to actually activate it on the windscreen can't be achieved via a over-the-air update. It's a minor but fixable gripe. The potential for improvement just from the software here is there because it has a solid and smooth software base, so these things can be addressed. Wrapping up these first impressions, keep in mind this vehicle costs me just under £180 per month. It looks good, it's fun to drive, it's comfortable, and it has great space and visibility. Sure, there's room for improvement in some of the software experience, and that can be fixed over time, but it has a solid base. There's nothing really I can think of that's a deal breaker here, especially at this price point, and that's really it. I think it's a great solid base and package for a first time driver or even as a city runaround. Overall, it's a cracking affordable EV that feels brilliant value. For now, I have no major regrets. In fact, I'm actually genuinely enjoying driving this, and I can't really put my finger on why it feels so good, but sometimes the small compact cars, they hit a soft spot. Some of the classics like your Fiat 500s and Mini Coopers, in the years to come, maybe it could be quite as iconic, but only time will tell. But honestly, if you are considering one, it's worth actually going out and test driving one. So that's it for me this week. I'm interested in what your thoughts are. Do you like how it looks? Would you buy one? Or are you still hesitant? Let me know in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, please do like the video, subscribe, and do check out the links in the video description. You've been great, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.